Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Muhammad Shakir Daniel and I am presenting about my final assessment, which is subnetting calculations. Subnet A 500 hosts. First, we need to determine the subnet mask prefix length. The number of hosts required is 500. And first, we need to find the nearest power of 2 that can accommodate at least 500 hosts. As you can see, I already listed it on my left side. The closest power of 2 is 512, which is 2 powers by 9. To calculate it, we need 32 minus by 9 to get 23. This is because IPv4 only have 32 bits. For step 2, we need to identify the network. The starting address for this subnet A is 172, 16, 0, 0, and 23. In binary, /23 means that the first 23 bits are fixed for the network portions and the last 9 bits are for the host. For host. The broadcast address is obtained by setting all host bits to 1, resulting in 172, 16, 1, and 255. For step 3, determine the usable IP range. For the first usable address is network address, which is in order to get the first usable address, we need to plus one the network address. So the result is 172, 16, 0, and 1. For the last usable address is the broadcast address minus 1. As you can see, we get 172, 16, 1, 25, and 254. That's it. Okay, for subnet B, 200 hosts. First, we need to get the prefix length. Uh, the number of hosts required is 200. We need to find the nearest power of 2 that can accommodate at least 200 hosts. As you can see, 2 powers by 8, which is 256, is more than 200. So you can take that uh, for inside the calculations. So uh, for 32 minus 8 is 24, right? So as you can see, I already get my prefix length. So for the starting address is 172, 16, 2, 0, and 24 slash 24. As for the network address is the same as starting address, which is 762, 16, 2, 0, and 24. In binary, /24 means that the first 24 bits are fixed for the network portions and the last 8 bits are for the host. So you can get the broadcast address, which is 762, 16, 2, and 255 slash 24. For the first usable address is the network address plus 1, which is 172, 16, 2, and 1 slash 24. For the last usable address, which is broadcast address minus 1, is 172, 16, 2, and 254 slash 24. Okay, for subnet C, 100 hosts. The required number is for hosts is 100, and the closest power of 2 that can accommodate at least 100 hosts is 128, 2 power by 7. To calculate, 32 minus 7 is 25. So the starting address is 172, 16, 3, 0 slash 25. This is because in binary, /25 means that the first 25 bits are fixed and the last 7 bits are for the host. So, uh, so we can get the broadcast address, which is by setting all host bits to 1, resulting in 172, 16, 3, and 127 slash 25. Last, we need to determine the usable IP address. The first usable IP address is network address plus 1, which is 172.16.3 and 1 slash 25. Next is last usable address, which is broadcast address minus 20, minus 1. So you get 172.16.3 and 126 slash 25. Okay, for subnet D, the required number of hosts is 50, and the closest power of 2 that can accommodate at least 50 hosts is 64, which is 2 power by 6. In calculation, we need 32 minus 6, which you can get 26. So we get the starting address, which is 172.16.3.128 slash 26. Okay, for network address is the same as starting address, which is 172.16.3.128 slash 26. So slash 26 means that you need to keep the first 26 bits and change the last 6 bits to determine the broadcast address. So you get the 172.16.3.191 slash 26 for the broadcast address. Okay, for determine the usable IP range, first usable IP address is network address plus 1, which is you can get 172.16.3.129 slash 26, and for the last usable address is broadcast address minus 1, which is 172.16.3 and 190 slash 26. That's it. Thank you for your time.